Originally, I was going to wear some slightly more hip hop oriented clothes for this, but there is a little bit more I want to talk about this album, and I don't want to deter the attention away from it. So here I am like this. Let's talk about this album. Let Love is the 12th studio album released by Common. With the strange relationship I have with hip-hop, I've never really been able to come down and say who is my favorite MC, rapper, hip-hop artist. But if I had to put someone in my top 5, Common is definitely up there. Maybe higher, but definitely top 5 hip-hop artists for me. Aside from his lyrical talent, there's a way that he carries himself. There are things that I think Common in his life has been exposed to a little bit differently than I have. If he and I were to be in the same room and have a conversation, I think we would have more agreements than I think. But I know that we would see things from different angles, but I would be very interested to see how he would relay the messages he tries to convey in his music, or for the organizations he likes to support, or for the movements, or any other things for that matter. Again, I don't know him on a personal level. I just feel that if there was something within music or outside of music that he has a strong opinion on, I feel like he and I could actually have a civil conversation. But the beautiful thing about this is that even in topics that I'm not sure if I agree with, or I know that I don't really get behind, I have a genuine interest in how he wants to share it. I'm making that sound like that is like the bulk of this album. It almost is, but it's also music. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know that I don't care for messages or political things that try to get into the music if it's going to overtake it. I would say this album has a lot of messages, but Common knows how to balance the groove, the flow, and to not overstate anything that would be not necessarily vulgar, but kind of not keen to other potential ears out there. It's almost like he wants others to be able to listen to his music, and he just doesn't want to say things that he thinks are true. So I have admiration for that. So now that I've kind of explained and not necessarily dissected the album, but I've kind of given you an idea of where he decided to take this album, let's talk about the actual songs. I'm going to get straight into the 3 songs I would like to highlight real quick. The first being Her Love.
But you said, Colin, you will never be average. It's the cold world. We need J. If you can .com, you can .k.
Now this one is a little slow. Lyrically, the pace should kind of be like that, but it does feel like the tempo could be risen up just a little bit. This is me thinking. Aside from that one nitpick, this is a very lyrically clever song. He is bringing a lot of modern hip-hop examples in here and a couple of old ones, but a lot of things that definitely today's hip-hop, mainstream hip-hop audience would understand and get behind and be like, oh, okay, that was clever, yeah. Next, the song Forever Your Love.
Chose each other. Sing so. Please protect this family.
This one just hits home for me for some reason. But the thing I really like about this, and in another song, is that he has a very special feature. Another artist called BJ the Chicago Kid. Finding a complimentary vocalist or another artist of any kind can do some really great wonders. And then the song Show Me That You Love.
He said, Dad, let your actions be your loudest speaker. And now my daughter is now my teacher. Love.
This is one of those songs that literally feels like it's trying to comfort you in the midst of life's trials. And something really gracious, thank you, Common, for doing this, is that as soon as the lyrics end, he gives it about a little over a minute to allow the music continue to carry out that sentiment. It goes on and doesn't overstay its welcome. It lets you continue on. You don't need to have lyrics or rhymes continue to give you the idea that the song has already implemented into your mind. And then the music just kind of lets it flow and keeps that groove stuck with you. It's kind of a nice idea right there. Now again, there are nitpicks that I have with this album. Again, being a hip-hop album, there are some words that I wouldn't care to put in here. There's only really one, maybe two, that really I was like, Common, that's a little bit much for you, man. There's another song in here that is, if I'm understanding it correctly, kind of talking about a cheating situation. So it's a little bit more of a mature subject that I would only recommend to people probably my age or around there and older. But most of this is kind of things that I feel like others could listen to potentially, aside from, little words here and there. And the thing that I admire very much about this album is its composition, arrangement, and production. Although there are a few tweaks I would have made, Common knows exactly how to complement not just the lyrics, but the subject of the lyrics with the mood of how the beat and the arrangement of all other factors that create the music for each song. I am very impressed, and I wish other people just knew. And it doesn't even have to be overly complicated. It doesn't really feel like that. It feels simple, but it feels necessary. It feels well complemented. It feels like it fits together. Can't we just get that? No one has to always overdo their production. Some people just know how to get the idea and the feeling to their audience. This guy, most of the time, a lot of the time, does his homework and gets it on point. So, after having listened and reviewed this album, with production of 91%, creativity 71%, expression and lyrics 68%, I'm going to give this album a yeah. Now, there's a reason I'm recommending this album under a yeah. Based on some of those percentages, you would think maybe I would have given it a good rating instead. Well, the reason I want to give it a yeah is because I think it's worth listening to. I don't want other people to be turned off by the slight things that I don't think I like. And I'm not really talking about all the musical aspects of it. I'm talking a little bit more about the subjects and some of the specific lines that he wants to include in here. Not many of the subjects here are ones that I think no one should listen to. It's not anything like that. He is addressing a lot of more mature subjects, or addressing a simple subject in a slightly more mature way, not like adulterated, just, more mature. And I think that looking at it from another angle is worth something. I think that there can be another angle that I would potentially present if I had that platform. But I think it's worth looking at, studying, or even just enjoying the beat. There are a lot more positive takeaways from this album than negatives, even though there are things that I personally, as a reviewer, would nitpick at, but I still want to give it this kind of recommendation. So there you have it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, remember to subscribe and follow all the social media for this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.
Here we go. sensational. I did protect and provide, and I'm a father that's live. What about the ones with you in the backseat? For my dad, I couldn't be a replacement.